there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Imperial Destroyer mod. Last time around we had to defend the homeland as the French march a mighty army of 6,000 men to take Brussels. They were thwarted though, and their army massacred on the field and then run down outside. Still haven't really been able to fully recover, as some of the countryside is still on fire, as it were. However, we are safe for now, as there's no other French army marching against us. However, we do have other problems, don't we? One of the big problems here is, well, as you saw, the French Navy is now laying siege to all my ports in the home region, which means that my trade income is quite reduced. And at this point I really need a navy in all three areas, because I have a large presence in North America, I have a larger presence in India as well, and then of course I need to defend my home region. The problem with being so spread out and, why haven't I, got a navy in each area? Well, that is because if we take a look at the list here, we can see that my fleet consists of 12 ships. How much do I pay for these 12 ships then? According to our policies, then I pay in upkeep for this fleet of 12 ships. I pay almost 11,000. That's almost 1,000 per ship. That's like 950 or something, I gather, for each ship in upkeep. If I were to have, and we make about 9,000 per turn right now, but that could quickly evaporate if stability falls or something like that. So say that we could have an additional, I don't know, say 3 ships or something like that. That's 3,000 more. That gives us up to 15 ships. That means 5 ships in each region. And even then, the enemy fleets that we look at, currently there's not too bad. The French fleet here is only 340s. But they are building quite a lot here. So here they've got 54 plus 2 40s, a 28 and a brig, which they've built there. So that's the French fleet here. And then if we go to India, now I have actually been able to come to terms with the Mughal Empire. I forgot to say that maybe. But look at the Mughal fleet, look at the fleet of Mysore. Tons of ships everywhere. And then if we go to North America, now there aren't that many French ships here, but there's this Spanish fleet right here. So there's tons of ships everywhere. And if I could at best get 6 ships per area, that would be great. Now of course what it looks like is that I would need the big ones, the 54 gun ships. I would need them in my home region, and then I could probably do with smaller ships. Say I could do a fleet with 40 guns for this area, and I could probably do 40 guns, and I should do a smaller amount of 40 guns as most of the ships down here for the Indian nations are either the smaller ships or the 28 gun frigates. So that should, but still, with 6 ships to each continent, that's not great, is it? With that said, I have been having a little bit of a hard time to moving out, because we're tied down by the resistance to foreign occupation. So we're not really able to move out from any area just yet. And then also we've got spies causing trouble wherever they go. So, and also the religious issue. If it weren't for, we've talked so much about that, so you know all that already. But yeah, so I haven't been able to move these armies out. The interesting thing here, the Spanish army isn't moving at all, to the point where they actually started to starve. So they are losing troops. So they might starve out well before I actually have the time to march out and actually attack them, which will take about 4 turns to march all that way across Cuba. So that's 2 years in-game turns. So wonderful with the very slow movement, isn't it? Europe we already talked about, nothing really happening here. There's mostly the navy which is a problem, blocking my trade. And now when we go to India, I have been able to sign a temporary peace with the Mughal Empire. I don't think it will last, as the Mughal armies are closing in. Well, I've got 2 spies which are tracking 2 armies, or actually a number of armies that are slowly being built up here along the border, so they will surely go ahead and attack us. But what we're going to focus on today is the French East India Company, which have started to build here. Now they only have 1 East India troop, but I still call it the French East India Army. And as we can see, they've built quite a large force. The most devastating thing here would be, of course, the howitzers. They're gonna be just cause mass casualties on us. And the fact that they've got so much infantry to stop us advancing on these cannons. And they even have dragoons to try and stop my cavalry attacks on that. So this will be very hard battle. The thing is, I realized I was able to move out without causing too much problem in Calcutta, so I started moving out. Of course, that's the point where the French send their fleet that they still had here, kind of lurking in between the Arcot fleets, not the Arcot, the Mysore fleets. Then they launch that fleet and those troops towards Calcutta. Now I do get, it looks like it's 4 units of garrison here, so that's plenty enough to take them on, plus there's a fort there. But still, I mean, such a sneaky maneuver, and it's one of the things where it's almost too smart for the AI, where you're kind of surprised at how clever it was. Now it's not gonna work, but I mean, you can imagine, you know, luring me out there, this battle. If you know, if there was a player who did this, I wouldn't be too surprised, because it would be a smart move, and he could outmaneuver and maybe take the town, and if I lose this battle, then I know where to retreat, and the fleet is cutting me off, and like, disaster. But at this point, with the amount of garrison I will get from here, I think we will be able to hold out, even if it's just 4 units. Their cavalry won't be any use to them when going against fort walls. With all of this said, kind of explaining the current situation, we've got one hell of a battle ahead of us, as the East India companies go toe-to-toe with similar size armies. They spawn in 3 garrison regiments, so they get roughly up to our same level in terms of troops. The only difference here is, of course, that they have lots more cannons than I do. That's their real advantage, I'd say. And then also, the sepoys are slightly better than the militia, but not as good as the garrison infantry. So this will actually be quite the fight. What it's going to come down to is really if my cavalry is able to outrun their flanks and able to cut down the howitzers before they are turning my troops into literal soup. But with that said, let's go ahead and attack this Ferret the Savillon. Let's go ahead and fight him down. I didn't realize this general was this good. That he had managed to gain this many stars. Would be a shame if such a star player would die right here. Anyways, East India Company versus East India Company. Who will be the most East India Company? Whatever. Right, let's fight. We're looking at a very basic setup right here. Deploy the troops in 2 lines. We've got the worst troops, the sepoys, which have 30 accuracy, and then the East India Company in the back with 40 accuracy. So we got the better troops in reserve and the worst ones to take the brunt. Place the howitzers in the front, and we're attacking, cavalry in the flanks. So we're attacking a position like this, where they can deploy on the flanks, or inside here, there's houses and stuff. That's gonna be difficult if they place their howitzers in there. Now that could mean that they're, you know, shooting houses and stuff and won't be getting the shots out. But it could also mean that they get a really good position, which is hard to get at with cavalry, because there's a lot of impossible terrain. So that could make it hard to advance on such a position, and in doing so losing tons of men in the process. And at this point, start of the battle, there's only a difference of 500 men per side, so that needs to be considered. But we won't know until we start, so let's start. Okay, so the enemy deploys at the back end of the deployment zone. They've placed their howitzers in front of everyone. Oh, is that some kind of guard? No, it's not guard. It's because it's the standard cannons, as it were. Here's the French East India Company. Looks a lot more fancy than ours, and the white the white legs looks almost like they sparkle. But then most of what their army is these militia. So we start out of range of each other. Looks like they're actually sending off the cannons to either flank, which could be very beneficial for us, in fact. They're also turning their lines out on the sides. Now they will be able to bombard us if they set up these normal 12-pounders. They'll be able to hit my cannons before my cannons will be able to hit them. Given that they have the town in the center, it will be difficult for them to resupply or aid either side if I were to hit either side really hard. And looking at this, it looks like a majority of troops are down on this side, while we don't have that many up on this side. Now the key still will be to hit those artillery pieces. They're actually, looks like they're pulling them back into town, which is probably the worst thing they could do. I don't like this. I don't like the general out there if he's gonna attack my cannons. Let's see, where do they have their cannons? They're kind of messing all them up so it's one cannon there, one cannon there. Then the other two are gonna be over here. They haven't deployed any one of them yet, but... So that's the 2 standard cannons. Where are the 3 howitzers? So here's 1 howitzer, and then the other 2 is over there. I think we got a pretty good chance here. Let's get all the sepoys advancing together with the howitzers. As cavalry go in for support. The enemy is relocating, and as they're doing that, all their troops kind of end up in the center, and they're going to have a hard time moving the troops because of the town. And I think what we'll do is we'll have the East India Company also advance, but with more of an emphasis towards the high ground. And we'll start moving the general over here. Let's see. I want to see kind of when I'm able to fire upon the French. Okay, I think the French just realized that they are within range of my artillery. Or at least some of them are. I want to get further though. I want to get so I can almost hit some of their artillery pieces, because we're definitely gonna be our infantry is definitely gonna be moving in range of their artillery. Currently, I'm very lucky that they're got their troops all in such a mess. They've almost completely given up the high ground on the right. Also, the problem is they've got all these obstacles for my horses to advance on. So on the right there's like no room of maneuver at all. And they've kind of made it so it's in two lines. And it's like it's almost impossible to get through on that side. It's easier to move here, but I guess cavalry attack going around here, slip down through here, and maybe attack the town. Okay, let's see. I want to see if my howitzers are just about ready to fire here. I kind of want to fire straight into town. That general is coming a little bit too close for comfort for my cannons there. Don't really like that. Let's temporarily halt them so these sepoys get up in front. Okay, looks like they're gonna try and find their... I want to kind of hit the hotel as well, just because it's gonna look cinematic if I turn that into rubble. Okay, the French are pulling back. I think that's where I'll set it. The sepoys are getting into position now. Crest the hill. You'll set up there. Get forward so you get into the woods. You'll advance there. And then these... What is them? Great big wagon or something in a way. There. Cavalry on this side is not going to have a good time, so we'll kind of keep them in reserve here. Let's see. Okay, set them up. We've started trading fire. As it is dragoons, they're going to sit out there and fire at us. We'll trade some fire with them, and then my cavalry go in to try and kill them. We'll take 3 East India Company, continue the march, and see if we can capture this area. Be able to fire down upon the French. And then we'll have these go in as reinforcement to the center. Let's see, are they deploying their cannons yet? Not as of yet, but I want to destroy them before they do that. So the fighting has definitely started. Let's get this one going in on the flank. We have a large amount of troops. If I hit that with a howitzer, that could do a lot of damage on them. Okay, so this unit's definitely lost a lot of men. But so is that sepoy unit. I'm gonna send in my native cavalry. It's gonna go in and attack here. The first native cavalry smashing in to the French dragoons. French troops are causing a bit of damage, but it looks like they're kind of moving into... Oh! As I'm targeting these units, they're actually firing not towards where the cannons are, but where those extra troops are. That's completely unnecessary. I want them to fire into the bloody town. Right, we're actually beating a lot of the French troops here. Fire on the troops then. Fire on the troops. Don't fire on the cannons anymore. So let's see. Oh, we're not doing well here. The dragoons are actually winning. this fight over here. I'll detach these guys to smash into the back of that. And then this sepoy unit should move in between that cottage and the rest of the line and set up and fire down upon the French. Massive French retreat in the center. Now when I get both cavalry units in, maybe then we can turn the tide on the dragoons. But it's not looking too well. Let's get these East India Company ready to fire in on that. I sent 3 of them. Where is the third? I'm pretty sure I sent 3 of them in. Did I send this guy in somewhere else? Okay, I'm gonna try and get these now to move to either side and open up with the center unit and end the dragoon unit. So we lost a lot. So my native cavalry could not stand against the dragoons. Just absolute French mismanagement of this situation has turned their huge army into absolute shit. This unit's not gonna take part in any more of the battle. This one's gonna go over here. We are bombarding the town now. East India Company over here, dealing damage to the French. Sending in an extra regiment. Gonna have to deal with these dragoons. Let's have this part of the center move forward. This one's a little bit in a sketchy position. Good, good. If we'll send you here, and then just this one, this little one backing up, that could work. Cavalry, there's no way cavalry is going to get through there. But cavalry could go through here, go through this unit. And then on to the cannons. Both of you will focus on this. And you focus on the dragoons. And as you now turn to this, the cavalry gets through. Storms this unit. Kills it off. Continues on into the cannon. There's a risk here this might open fire on us. Hold fire. There's a risk of you shooting our own cavalry here. Ordering the cavalry to overrun the position. Let's get the East India Company. New position for them. There. Same time the sepoys fighting their fights. Turn up slightly there. Well, I am targeting the hotel without me even telling the cannons to do that. We've cut down a few cannons, but let's retreat before the cavalry gets slaughtered. I should actually order this reserve cavalry get up here so I can use them where there's no obstacles to advance, and then East India Company should be put another coal into it, as it were. Let's march forward. Have these two get forward. You turning slightly, and then you guys marching up. So we've got the hotel to burn just by them firing after a colonial unit. So I didn't even order them to do that. They just knew that it would look good. Enemy artillery slowly marching into us and dying. Soon enough, the entire French army will be on the run. And the enemy's East India Company. There's the unit, the actual East India Company unit, going up against my sepoy regiments here. We'll be closing in. They never even... I was so worried about their howitzers, and they never even got to use them. East India Company retreating in the face of overwhelming force. Still quite a bit of French units staying. Okay, so the cavalry has arrived. Move to the back side and actually take all the cavalry with you. You can see about running down some units. My guys might be shooting at these. And oh, now they're deploying the cannons. Now they're deploying the cannons. That's way too late. Imagine if they'd actually deploy the cannons early on. With those 3 howitzers. We've seen what my 2 howitzers can do against the enemy. Imagine what 3 would have done. Why aren't you... This regiment isn't doing too well. However, that doesn't matter because there's a horde of native cavalry coming down from the hills. And they're gonna cut their way through what remains of the French army. Actually, we'll end it now. We'll end it now. Whatever's left, end it. All infantry units, hold fire. Howitzers, continue to fire on the hotel just because it looked cool. It's gonna look cool. If we tear it down. Damn, cannon shots going through. Some French units holding on just to get bayoneted. East India Company overruns them. Cavalry cuts them off. We've got French artillerymen charging in with swords. We've got the sepoys attacking garrison regiment over here. And sending them off. And that looks like that's it. No, the French general still remains. Oh, don't go too close to that house. It's about to fall down. 99%. Continue through. Why is he just standing there? All the cavalry, I'll order you to charge over here. And then we'll try to organize something here. Shoot down that one general that's staying. Burnt down the hotel. March through. Not entirely sure. Is he stuck? What is... Oh, he's stuck in the building. You know what? Take the building. Take control of it. And then you'll march to here. And you'll be able to shoot. You'll shoot from inside. While you shoot from over there. And then as these will march to take the road up ahead. Be able to shoot him down from there. Is he stopping the... I guess that one with the sash is the actual general. You can see they're coming up to the second floor. Troops marching after the French units, and that's the end of French India. They held some few exotic spices for a while, but that's about it. Get shooting! There goes... Oh, I thought it was the general got shot. But it was just us taking control of the house. Get shooting! Oh, now they're shooting from the other side here. And the general has had enough. He's riding away. And there we have it. The town has fallen into our hands. Wonderful. And here is the result of that battle. 6,000 men deployed on our side against 5,500, wherein which we lost 1,500, leaving 4,500, while the enemy lost everything, leaving no one behind. Discrepancy in terms of losses between what the enemy killed from us and what we lost is only about 25 men. Even less than that, in fact. About 22 men were killed by our own fire, so that's really good. Unusually good. Highest kills goes to Sepoys, followed by East India Company. Howitzer coming quite far down, but they were firing very early on, kind of ineffective against the enemy's cannon, as it was aiming for kind of the baggage train rather than the actual cannon, and weren't able to destroy the cannon and to not kill anyone in the process either. Native cavalry. Was surprised that my native cavalry didn't do so well against the dragoons. But I guess they've got a lot better stats than I thought. Anyways, we won the fight. And the region falls into our hands again, which is nice. The unhappiness isn't that great, because the region has been purged of any foul undoing by the Mughal Empire, as we're no longer at war with them. Plus the French had the courtesy enough to build up the province quite a bit. I don't know about building a bloody fishing port, though. I think the region has plenty of food enough as it is, as it has 2 rice fields. I mean, there's a lot of Indians. How many do we need? There's 30 million in this province. Is it 30 million or is it 300,000? Yeah, it's 30 million, roughly, right? Yeah, no, it's 3.1 million, not 30 million. It's plenty Indians still, though. Get quite a lot of good cash from this. Very good. Given that that was a long battle, we'll probably end it right here. But that was very good. Increasing our coffers to the point where we make 10,000 per turn. Should be able to at least launch some ships here. Really what I want to do is I would want to bring my big fleet down here with maybe even more 54 gun ships and just go to bring it to bear against one of these fleets, or the Mysore fleets, and just absolutely tear through all these smaller ships. I can imagine the absolute catastrophe befalling these guys as my larger ships just absolutely crushes them. And also these are small ships where most of the crew is on top deck, so if a big ship comes rolling by firing canister, I mean, I could capture so many ships and make so much money off the prize money. But there we have it. The Dutch East India Company has captured all of the east coast of India, and we intend to hold it. Further on we might push forward, but now it's consolidating and making sure that we split our forces, I think, making 2 armies. So if hostilities come, I have an army ready to go against Hyderabad and another one to either go forward to, I think one would go directly to the kind of Hindustan region and take out the enemy's capital, while the other one goes through here and then here and then here, and then the one that goes there, and then I don't know if we'll take all of India, but we'll take a lot of it. In North America, it's really about the dealing damage to the Spanish. I do not intend to march in here. What I want is peace with France, because I don't want to fight in my home region. If I got peace with France, that means peace in my home region. That's, you know, economic stability and all of that. And I can focus on the colonies. One of which being the going against the Spanish, then taking more of their islands. But I think with all of this, I mean, what I could do if I am able, as a last test of the Dutch Empire for this series, would be then, because I've seen your comments about New Amsterdam basically attacking the British then and taking some of the American East Coast. So we would launch against the British, and that would probably be the toughest challenge, because Great Britain has built universities literally everywhere. They're building a fully upgraded university in Tuscaloosa. Who the hell has ever heard of Tuscaloosa? Tuscaloosa. What the crap kind of place is that? And they're building the top university there. Like, the British have every single technological advance you can think of. I can't, you know, look at this. They've got all of it. All of it. Power, terrifying. Wealth, spectacular. It doesn't get any better than the British Empire. And then the fleet, I mean, I think I'm rolling big time with my 54-gun ships. They've got ships like this. Second-rate ship, the Leviathan. Now it doesn't say how many cannons that has. And I don't even have the capacity to build something like that. But we can just imagine with a crew of 224 compared to... Oh, here it says actually it's carrying up to 98 cannons. 98. Imagine that coming against our 54. Absolute destruction. But, as always, it's time to end the episode. So, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And hopefully, I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.